All right, let's get the most out of your HX Stomp. I see posts more and more of people getting the HX Stomp for the first time, so I thought I'd put together like my top 5 things to maximize the first 5 things I would do, so let's get into it. Number 1, additional foot switches. The HX Stomp is great, but it only has 3 foot switches, but it has this really cool expression jack on the back that will accept 2 other foot switches, or a foot switch and an expression, or 2 expressions. Just remember, there's only 2 things. I get this question all the time. There's only tip and ring. See, what you need to do is you need to get a TRS cable like this. It has TRS, tip, ring, sleeve, but we only deal with the tip and ring. And so when you put the TRS cable into a 2 foot switch thing like this, you have a tip and ring, and the HX Stomp receives tip and ring, and you can assign those things to do a bunch of different things. You can adjust parameters, turn effects on and off, or if you want to get a split cable where it has TRS on one side and 2 TS on the other side, you can use 1 foot switch, a single foot switch, and an expression pedal, and assign different things for them to do. It really opens up the possibilities with the HX Stomp. These things are fairly inexpensive. This one is by Moski, or Mosky, I don't know. I think it was like 25 bucks, maybe. They're pretty inexpensive. I would definitely consider picking one up. And also what this does is it frees up foot switch 3 to actually be tap tempo. There is no better tap tempo switch in my experience than the one built into the HX Stomp. It's just the most accurate. You can hold it down, get to your tuner, hit it again, you're out. So when I have more foot switches, I like keeping foot switch 3, tap and tuner. If you don't know how to do that, you hit page left and page right, scroll over, hit global settings, make sure you are on the foot switches tab, foot switch 3, tap, and tuner. Press home to escape. Number 2 is to implement MIDI. Now, my favorite one by far, because it fits on any pedal board and it's pre-programmed for the HX Stomp, is the Jet Micro. It looks like this. Over here in the dark is my HX Stomp mini board that you may have seen in some other videos. This here is what the Jet Micro looks like. It's in the same housing. This is actually the Jet MCX, which is a fully customizable MIDI controller, but the Jet Micro looks just like this with the same buttons, and it opens up a world of possibilities. And like I said, it's pre-programmed. If you want to know more about that, I made a video. I'll try to put it up in the corner or link it down below just to help get you started on seeing what you can do with MIDI. Another option that I really love, and it's kind of sad because I think he's gonna stop making these, is the Little Robbie Pilot. I have 2 of them here, a black and white and a white and black, or vice versa, and I'm actually gonna give one of these away. So click the link in the description to sign up to win one of these. I don't know if I'm gonna give away the white one or the black one, or maybe just let the winner choose, but I'm definitely gonna keep one because I love it, and it's probably gonna be worth millions of dollars because he stopped making them, I think. But there's other companies that make some as well. Basically what this is, it's another pre-programmed MIDI controller. It's a little less functional as the Jet Micro, meaning it does less things. The Jet Micro, it just does a bunch, and it's pre-programmed, and you can do other things. This here basically does 4 things. Brings up tap, tempo, and tuner, so you could free up foot switch 3, and it brings up snapshot 1, 2, and 3, so you can stay in foot switch stomp mode. This thing is amazing. You should definitely grab one because he's still selling them for a little while. If you're watching this video at the beginning of 2024, I think he's just trying to sell what he has, and he's gonna stop making them. Unless you just put in a bunch of requests, and maybe he'll keep making them. Another option that I really love, I'm getting used to, I even have it on my big pedal board over there, and I have one here. It's the PirateMidi Bridge 6. The Bridge 4 is over there, and I also want to show you, they make these little stomper switches so you can like set up the buttons to do whatever you want and put on these little switches. They come in some different colors. They also have these purple ones and some white ones. Definitely check out PirateMidi. I love their stuff. It's super simple to use. The editor is really great. The screen is great, but what's even better about this is the lights. They have these really cool LED lights underneath each foot switch so you can see what is toggled on, toggled off. There's 2 lights per switch. They're fully customizable. You can pick whatever colors you want. They're dimmable. You can do pretty much whatever you want. The last MIDI controller I want to mention, I want to thank these guys for sending it to me, is the Morningstar MC6 Pro. It's still in the box. I haven't even had a chance to plug it up. I'm running behind on this, but I'm gonna dive into this because this is I'll say a fan favorite of those in the community who are into MIDI. This thing is highly customizable, just like all the other ones, but the new MC6 Pro has like some new screens, some new features. I'm excited to get into it. It's a little bit different shape. They've widened it a little bit, so there's a little more space. All these MIDI controllers have their pros and cons. The thing I'm trying to get across is if you really want to open up potential on your HX Stomp, get into MIDI. It's not that hard, and I also have some videos to help you along the way. Click those down below. All right, so the third thing is to use the capacitive touch switches on the HX Stomp to make adjustments easily. Let me show you. The first thing we can do with these switches when we're in home mode, if you push home view right there where we can see our signal path, is you can touch to bring up the parameter adjustments. You just touch it. You can scroll over and use these three knobs like you would on any pedal. Say I want to adjust the glitz reverb, I just touch it, then I can scroll over and adjust anything I want. Pretty quick. Now, if for some reason this isn't working for you, let's go back to the global settings. We'll hit page left, page right, scroll over one, go to global settings, and we want Stomp Select to be put on both, or at least touch. I like to put it on both because I want it to bring it up whether I touch it or I press it. The other thing you can do is touch and hold a switch to either replace or merge the assignment. And then the third thing you can do is touch and hold both to swap their assignments. See how quickly it swapped it? Let me swap it back. Boom. The last thing you can do with these, if your foot switch 3 is tap tempo, is that if you hold it, just tap it and hold it, you can quickly get to your BPM and change it. Now it kind of goes away kind of quick sometimes, but you can get there and change it, and you can only do that if it's set to foot switch 3. That's how you can quickly adjust tap tempo or your BPM. All right, now the fourth one is a real quick one, and that is to use snapshots per song. Now this is a total preference thing, but I like setting my BPM to per snapshot to ensure I don't lose signal between songs. I like to use a snapshot per song rather than a preset per song, because if you know HX Stomp world, the Helix, if you go from preset to preset, you're actually going to have a drop in signal. To do this quickly, if your foot switch 3 is tap tempo, hold it like we did before to change the BPM. You can actually tempo select from global, preset, or snapshot. But if this is not set up as foot switch 3 and you want to do it in the global settings, let's go page left, page right. We'll page over, tap global settings. Let's go all the way to this MIDI wheel. You would think it might be under preferences, but it's actually under the MIDI tempo folder. Scroll over until we hit tempo select, and then we can choose snapshot, global, or preset. So I like to put it on snapshot. All right, we're doing good. I have number 5, and I actually have a bonus, but before we get into those, I would like to give you something for free. I have my free Tone Secrets Guide PDF that you can just click for free down below, and it gives you a step-by-step process on like how to build a preset, how to get the most out of your HX Stomp as far as tone goes. If you're into if you're into video, obviously you're here, you're watching video, but if you also like to look at things and read things and see screenshots of how to get good tone and a description of what we're actually doing, click that free link down below. It's for you. Okay, let's get into number 5. The number 5 tip to maximize your HX Stomp is to utilize the stereo or mono effects loop. If you want to use your HX Stomp as an all-in-one rig solution, it can definitely do that, but a lot of people like to add other pedals to the HX Stomp for different reasons. You can free up DSP inside to use other effects that are more DSP heavy, or you might just have your favorite pedals that you don't want to give up. I do this on pretty much every board I have. So here's my HX Stomp XL board. I have the Jet Revelation right here that you can't see is the Jet Eternity. I put those into the effects loop of the HX Stomp. On this board, my HX Effects board, same thing. I have the Eternity and the Revelation in the effects loop of that. Actually, this board doesn't put it in the effects loop, but this one does. Over here, I'm come out stereo with a certain cable. I'll link it down below, but it's a split Y cable, TRS on this end, coming to 2TS on this end. It's hard to see. There we go. The 2TS coming to this side of the Revelation, and then it comes back in. That way I can move this Revelation anywhere I want in the signal chain. All right, you might be thinking, Jimmy, yes, I want to do it, but show me how. I don't know how to do it. Okay, I just opened up a preset. This is from one of my tone match presets. We will just click this button. We'll go back, and we will come all the way down to the send and return. Go to stereo, effects loop, left and right. This engages this loop right here. If nothing is in this loop, just a little tip here, if nothing is in the loop and this block is on, you're not gonna get any sound. So you wanna make sure that is disengaged. But if you have pedals in this loop, You can turn them on or off like this. You can set it to a foot switch like we did earlier, and actually merge that with that if I want. That way this 1 foot switch controls both those blocks. You can even put trails on. So if you do have a nice ambient reverb or delay in the loop, when you turn it off, the trails will continue to go on. All right, and lastly, number 6, our bonus tip. This is kind of like a time saving tip. If you want to save time and you're used to, maybe you're on a new preset, which I don't even think I have a new preset in here. I don't. None of these are blank. That's okay. So let's say I want to bring in an amp or an effect or any block that I use all the time. There are 2 things you can do. You can set it as a favorite or you can set it as a user default. Let me show you both ways. There's actually this favorites folder right here. All of these I've dialed in. I'm like, this is how I like it. And so I saved it as a favorite. I came over here, I right click, said save as favorite. You can name it whatever you want. The other thing you can do is, let's say we bring in an amp, any amp, the Voltage Queen, and we set it up just how we like it. I don't know at all what this would sound like. Maybe copy these settings and see what we got. If I don't want to make those changes every time because I really love how I set this amp up, I can also set it as a user default. That way, every time I bring up that amp, it brings it up just how I like it. So you can see user default is not selected. I'm gonna go ahead and click that. Now remember these settings, when I go to the Voltage Queen, it's exactly how we messed it up. Now I can go back and actually do factory default, and then when I bring it in again, it'll go back to the factory setting. All right, that's it for that video, but I need your help because I'm working on another video of like my top 5 things I would do to get great tone out of the HX Stomp, and so I need your help. Let me know, what are your struggles? What do you need help with? What do you want me to include in that video? Hopefully I can help you out and create the content that you actually need. Thank you for being a subscriber, and share this with anybody you think it would help, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.